Hey, and welcome to a Chicago Beer Pass beer review. I was saving these, thinking Nick and I might crack them all open at one point, which we still could. The Deepwood series.
You're insane.
But we're gonna dive into the Boss Jacket because we continue to talk about it on these episodes.
Whoa, hold on. All right.
Continue to talk about the Boss Jacket in those expensive WhistlePig barrels.
The Boss Hog, man. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This is barley wine aged in bourbon barrels, those WhistlePig barrels from Revolution, part of their Deepwood series.
Yeah. So this is entry 3 for the year, which is this batch of 3 beers. One of them was the Boss Jacket. Mm-hmm. I get Boss Jacket sounds like it's the same beer as Straight Jacket, just in a different barrel. That's what it sounds like.
And without strawberries.
And without strawberries. Not to be confused with Strawberry Jacket. You know, when you look up, if you just do a Google for Boss Jacket, first thing that comes up is Hugo Boss.
Oh, okay.
Not Hugo Boss.
Yeah, no relation.
No relation.
15% beer, 14%? Yeah, 15 basically. 14.8.
Yeah. The Boss Hog is a series of whiskeys from the WhistlePig, which is a distillery out of Vermont.
Okay.
Yeah. So the Boss Hog is a series where, if I got this right, they're all finished in a different cask, right? So like there's one that's, the Boss Hog Samurai is finished in like in a Japanese liqueur cask. The Boss Hog Spirit of Mauve, which is were these barrels, it was finished in an apple brandy cask.
Okay.
Calvados or some shit.
Might have a rum one, like a Caribbean
Yeah,
one.
like they're all kind of finished in all finished whiskeys, if you will.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, but the source whiskey is aged for 13 years.
Okay.
Which that's not typical. Like when Goose had their beer for the second version of Rare, those were in like 26-year-old Heaven Hill barrels, but they lost those barrels. It wasn't an intentional thing to have this shit extended aging like that. So 13 years is a long time.
Yeah.
Not like long like we lost it long, but it's pretty long.
It's pretty long, yeah.
I think like...
You're running a risk of... What if like...
what if it's whack?
It's not good. What if there's a fire?
What if there's a fire?
In year 12.
Oh, and you've had, yeah.
And all those barrels burn up. And the whiskey wasn't, it's pretty strong. It's not going to help put that fire out.
Yeah. So now that we're talking about it, I guess I understand a little bit more of the steep price point. Because all the Boss Hogs are like the source whiskey. The Boss Hogs are, they look like they're $500 a bottle.
That's crazy.
But,
And this 4-pack can is probably $20.
Nah, this was $40.
$40.
For the 4-pack, that was $40.
So each can is $10.
Yeah. I'm still in at 40, I think. I'm in still.
If you saw a $10 can on the shelf, would you buy that?
I'm in. Huh. I'm in at 10.
Yeah. Huh.
16? I'm out at 20. 20, I'm out.
For a can?
For a can, I'm out.
Okay.
I'm in at 10.
10's the...
I'm probably in at 15.
12.
16,
16, no.
Oh, no, then we're done.
All right. So, Rav, next year you can charge Nick a little more. He's down. But this looks fantastic. We were drinking this milk stout, and it's not as dark as that. It has that, like, cherry, ruby kind of color going on.
There's a fantastic dark, deep red hue, but you can...
Yeah, that glass kept the head on it, but I have
got that Glencairn action, bud. Oh, but you can't see through it, but you can see it. It's not jet black.
Yeah.
Where you can still see a little bit of it.
You can see through the top, but you can't see through the side.
The candy play, right? Like, the dark fruit is there, but then like
yeah, like maple, just molasses. I don't know.
It reminds me of some kind of like some kind of cherry candy of some sort.
That someone dropped in a thing of booze.
Somebody dropped in a whole thing of booze, man.
Like candy, like your grandpa would give you. You're like, wait.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, whoops, those weren't for you.
Like maybe not the Red Hots, but like some kind of like cinnamon candy that you just had hanging out in bourbon. Yeah.
So I hadn't had this beer yet. One of the first cans I opened up. I didn't have it at the release, but
Yeah.
you've dived in already.
Yeah.
You've already drank them.
I had one.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. But because I didn't understand the barrel, because I never had the whiskey.
Yeah.
So I think I did it next to just Straight Jacket, just so I could know what was going on. Yeah, because Straight Jacket, man. Straight Jacket's nice. Straight Jacket might be, one of the best. One of my favorite barley wines.
Better than Boss.
When I had it next to Boss, don't get me wrong, like this is really smooth and delicious, but there is a healthy amount of booze in this fucking beer that you can taste. But with Straight Jacket, I thought it was even a little hotter than this.
Okay.
Where like there's something about those layers of, like you talked about, like syrup and dark fruit and candy. It's layered in a way that the booze isn't absent, but it's kind of playing the background. I think with Straight Jacket, it comes through a lot more.
Okay.
Straight Jacket's coming with that burnt sugar and toffee and like a little vanilla flavor, right?
Well, the barrels and the whiskey's going to be younger, so it's going to be a little harsher. It's going to be.
Yeah.
It's going to have that like a heat to it.
He's coming through more on Straight Jacket than
That Boss Jacket 13-year barrel. Any whiskey kind of hotness that's still in that barrel is going to be so mellow.
Yeah.
Like that barrel has to be like rock hard, just like gunk and just like corrode. Like it's got to just have this layer on it that's like never coming off.
Because most whiskeys are, most American whiskeys by definition are 4 to 6 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're doubling that. So yeah, it's pretty intense. It is. I mean, it's got a very luscious vibe about it.
Yeah.
Thick and layered flavors.
It starts to, as it's been sitting and I've had a few more sips, it starts to feel more like you would get from like a sherry.
Yeah.
Like you just want to sip a little bit this at a time, let your palate get used to it, then come back after it's kind of mellowed a little bit.
Feels a little bit like a Manhattan a little bit to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is fun. It's fun that they're able to, in the world of adjuncts, that they're able to pull all these flavors out of just a barrel is the exciting part,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And this is, like it's 14.8, and I think the Straight Jacket this year was 15.
Oh,
so it's 15.8. So it's like, it's a tad smaller.
there was probably more whiskey in those barrels. Yeah. They're like, we got every drop out before we sent this to you.
So yeah, they're the first local brewery that I can think of that's rocking these WhistlePig Boss Hog barrels, and they did it last year. I think Boss Rye was the variant last year.
Okay.
Yeah, and Boss Jacket this year.
Damn, I don't know. It's nice, and unfortunately, you can't buy these anymore. They sold out the day of.
Correct. You might be able to find it on draft.
All right, and the people that bought them, they have 4 cans at least, but everyone I saw had cases of, they had a whole case. Like 3 would get you a half case, and I think people were like, well, I'll just get 6 kind of thing, right? So, of the variants. So everyone probably got 2 of each.
Yeah, what I noticed towards the end of the release party was that, there's 2 lines, one for packaging and one just to try the stuff on draft. But if you came in just to try the stuff on draft, you could kind of go through that side door where they were selling the packaged goods and get some if you wanted.
Yeah.
So they do a good job with those releases. Mm-hmm. Always on a Friday, always at 4:00, and then they get busy with the tap list. They go into their vault a little bit. Sorry.
And you gotta go the day before now if you really wanna.
Oh, then they slip in some special stuff the day before and don't say a goddamn thing about it. Yeah. So annoying.
All right, so look for someone that still has a Boss Jacket. Not a Hugo Boss Jacket, just a Boss Jacket, because it's good.
It's a fine jacket. And then what I would do is definitely Straight Jacket is something you can find all year long. I go side by side just to see what they're doing.
Get rocked. At
And
two 15% beers side by side.
make it a party.
All right. Take care.
Cheers.